Imagine waking up in a 21st century, unrecognizable to our own. There are no churches spiring above European towns, no crosses on graves, no echoing hymns, and no familiar holidays like Christmas or Easter. The world's largest religion never took root. So what grew in its place? In the 1st century, Jesus of Nazareth becomes a minor teacher, his legacy absorbed into the tapestry of Jewish mysticism, never blossoming into a faith that would span continents. The Roman Empire, without the unifying force of Christianity, remains religiously fragmented. Ancient cults, mystery religions like Mithraism, and philosophies such as Stoicism and Neoplatonism flourish, competing for hearts and minds across the empire. The consequences are profound. When Rome begins to falter, there is no Catholic Church to inherit its administrative genius. Without a papacy to centralize spiritual and political power, Europe enters the Middle Ages as a patchwork of regional cults and fragmented philosophies. There are no monasteries to preserve classical knowledge. Much of Greek and Roman science, literature, and philosophy are lost to time, while local traditions and oral histories fill the void. In this world, the Dark Ages are truly darker. Without the Church's networks of charity and education, literacy is the privilege of a tiny elite, mainly the descendants of Roman patricians and scholars in the Eastern world. Science evolves slowly, often suppressed by superstitions and isolated by tribal boundaries. Islam still rises in Arabia, but when it sweeps across North Africa and into Spain, it faces not a unified Christendom, but a fractured Europe. The absence of the Crusades means less East-West animosity, but also less cross-cultural exchange. In fact, with no Christian Europe to counterbalance Islamic civilization, the caliphates expand further north, bringing Arabic science, mathematics, and medicine deep into the heart of the continent. By the 12th century, cities like Paris and Vienna ring with the call to prayer, and the great libraries of Córdoba and Baghdad become the centers of the Western world's intellectual revival. By the Renaissance, Europe's cultural landscape is a mosaic of syncretic beliefs. Pagan festivals mark the calendar. Saturnalia, the festival of light, replaces Christmas. The spring rites of Cybele and Attis are more vital than Easter. Art and architecture are dominated by Greco-Roman and Near Eastern themes. Statues of Jupiter and Isis, mosaics of Zoroaster, and grand temples to the sun and moon. The Sistine Chapel's ceiling never exists, nor do the soaring cathedrals of Gothic France. Colonialism still happens, but with different justifications. European explorers seek gold, silk, and spices, not souls. Missionaries never crisscross the globe. Instead, traders and philosophers introduce Mithric rites to the Americas and Stoic thought to Africa. In China and India, Buddhism and Confucianism remain unchallenged by Western faiths. Indigenous cultures in the Americas and Africa survive longer, some thriving into the modern age. In the 21st century, the world's power centers are very different. The Middle East's intellectual legacy is ascendant, having shaped European science and philosophy for centuries. North Africa and the Mediterranean are cosmopolitan hubs where Islamic, pagan, and Jewish traditions overlap. In the Americas, new syncretic religions blend native beliefs with Stoicism and Mithraism. Western art and music are less driven by choral harmonies and more by ancient modes and rhythms. And yet, a question lingers over this world. Without the moral and ethical frameworks shaped by Christianity's rise, would humanity have found other ways to champion equality, forgiveness, and universal rights? Or would the world be more divided, its many gods and philosophies forever in competition? In this alternate reality, the answer remains uncertain, a world united by curiosity, but fractured by faith. If you love exploring alternate histories and bold new ideas, subscribe to What If Wave for more thought-provoking scenarios every week. Join us and see where imagination can take you.